Lead together, embrace change, enhance everyone's journey. The 3 core principles of SmartStop. A leader in self-storage real estate across North America. Reinforce why we're proud to bring you SheEO Lead-In, the podcast featuring curated conversations with powerful women sharing their impactful wisdom. It's a self-knowledge, self-discovery, and self-preneurship audio storage vault created by and for women. SmartStop's presentation of SheEO Lead-In begins right now.
So today we're here with Gabrielle Cavassa and Sophia Lee from Sophia Lee Management. And ladies, so you're partners, but why don't you tell us a little bit about what that looks like?
Sure. I'm a musical artist, and I started working with Sophia a couple years ago now. I think we're coming up on 2 years. And she was actually just a friend and my downstairs neighbor, and had this incredible ability to get me to show up places to sort of manage my life in a unobtrusive, sort of kind way. And I was sort of in between management, and there's it's such a male-dominated field, and I have plenty of older male mentors in my life and in the jazz world who tell me what to do all the time and who I look to for advice. And I was really, struggling with how I wanted to go forward in my own career. So I asked someone, closer to me who had less experience, but who I felt really connected to and really excited about working with, and that was Sophia. And Sophia actually started taking business classes at that point and has become the best manager that I could ever ask for.
Wow, that is very nice.
I love that. Well, and you know what? Sometimes that rapport that's already built in really lends to something very special, because you do have that trust that's already been established. So I could definitely understand that. So, Sophia, what made you say, you know what? I really believe in Gabrielle and I really want to help her. What was it?
Yeah, it was so easy because I was already like a big fan. I loved going to her shows and hearing her perform. I was already really invested in the jazz world. My husband plays saxophone, so that's kind of how we met. And when she presented this kind of opportunity for me, I was hesitant at first because I didn't want to do a bad job. I wanted her career to flourish, and I didn't want to be the reason that it couldn't. So I took it really seriously, though. I was like, wow, yeah, maybe I can do this. She had a gig in Miami, and I kind of sat in as her tour manager, and I loved it. I really, really loved it. It kind of, all my type A tendencies work really well, I think, in the management world. So once I kind of recognized that skill set in me when I was in Miami, I was like, yeah, I could do this. I just gotta, really focus and take some classes and figure out what's what. And I've been so happy with the decision ever since.
That's great. Okay, so we're going to go back. Let's go back to childhood, because I love hearing stories about childhood memories that kind of made you think, you know what I'm doing now makes sense. Because a lot of times we have all these careers, I think, as women, where we go, I don't know how I got into it. I just kind of fell into it. So Gabrielle, why don't you start out? What childhood story is something you go, oh yeah, that actually makes sense now?
Well, maybe I have a little less of that than some people or a little less of the phenomenon of going, oh, it makes sense now, because I was a singer as a kid. And so I think there's a lot of people, family members, I've had interactions, at Christmas or something, where family members are going, who would have thought that you would be a Blue Note artist? Who would have thought that you would have made it here? And I'm like, me, I thought that. I always thought that. Mm-hmm. So I guess I have a little bit of a more straight path, even though I guess the path itself is a difficult one and sort of hilly in nature, it's been pretty straight. Like I haven't really deviated from it. I guess I remember like in high school doing my first solo. I was a sophomore in high school and we did it at the Pops concert, and like being high from that performance for like until the next concert the next year. So feeling like this is what I want to do. And I think it was high school when I really like, even though I wanted to be a singer before then, I think I started taking it really seriously and, you know, letting my parents know that I was taking it really seriously.
Well, there's probably a first performance in the living room when the family Christmas or something like that. I mean, I when I think about performing artists, I have zero musical ability, by the way. So I definitely would have never felt comfortable doing something like that. I think you probably have a lot of those moments, probably growing up, where you look back and you go, yeah, it all makes perfect sense because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've always been scared of performing. I still am, but it's just like it's always been a thrill. And so I never stop.
Yeah.
I have similar experiences now as I did when I was a kid of just being scared, but doing it anyways.
I love that. And you know what? I honestly, we'll get back to that a little bit later because I feel like that's a piece of advice. But let's move on. So, Sophia, what about you? What about, your skills? And you talked a little bit earlier about your type A personality and how you think that actually helps you, because it really does. I mean, it really does.
It really does. I found a home for it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, unlike Gabby, I'm not a musician, but I'd like to think that I am musical. I started off as a child like dancing and in a very musical household. My parents are still in a rock band together, so that was always like, you know, music was always a part of me. And I think, you know, the connection I made to visual art through that as well, like brought me to get like new work. Like I started to do album covers for artists and like branding, all this sort of stuff, which slowly connected into this management world, you know, like the world started to collide and make more sense. And I think I don't always like being told what to do. I think I like to be more of like in a leadership role. And I didn't know that until I kind of entered adulthood, when I was, you know, working my many jobs, like in book publishing and freelance positions. And then I realized, wow, I like the freelance world because I kind of have a bigger say. I'm not doing what the man is telling me to do. Like I'm the man. So that was really like, that's what kind of brought me to where we are now, I guess. Sorry, it wasn't like a linear path for me at all. It was very jagged and ups and downs, but we're here. That's good.
That's wonderful. So I have a question just for both of you. So Gabrielle, you first. One word that describes you.
One word.
I could think of several.
Well, me too. That's the problem.
I know, but yeah, you're right.
What do you hear from most people? Because
Should we pick words for each other?
Yes, I would so much.
Fun. Let's do it. Okay, go ahead, Sophia. What is Gabrielle's word?
Oh, visionary for me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
so nice. I love
Nice.
that.
Okay. Gabrielle, what's yours for Sophia?
Yes.
Ooh, boss.
Okay.
Wait, so if you were to add just one more word to that, would it be boss babe? Because she definitely looks like that. And that is being feminine, but also being strong.
She's
That's
a
how
boss
I think.
babe. And there's also Sophia's one thing that's interesting, she's very fun. She's much more fun than me. And so everything that she does, she's more of a boss than me and more fun. So like she's doing things with a sense of urgency and responsibility, and but she's also, and so more structure and sort of demanding answers and demanding structure, but also laughing more, having more fun, dancing. So there's something,
I still like
there's
to
something,
dance.
it's like a boss, yeah, I guess, I mean, Babe, if Babe encounters fun and
Yeah,
joy,
I think
then
It is. Yes. Yes. It's not a bad thing. It's actually, I think, a good thing. I perceive that as something.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes, for sure. And you know what? I kind of back to that point. I think no matter what your job is, no matter how serious, you need to have a little bit of fun. Otherwise, it becomes so arduous and mechanical, and you always need to have that fun factor. I'll let you in on a little secret about myself, and I want to hear what the two of you think about this. When I'm doing a Zoom and my camera's off, which I like to have my camera off sometimes, it's because I'm dancing around the house or the office, because I feel like there needs to be that fun factor so that you're actually bringing the energy to a conversation.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Completely
cute.
Oh, good. So I'm kind of picturing you two being like that too.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit.
Totally. So I'm doing the same thing, dancing around with
I love it.
camera off.
I take it all too
love
seriously. I'm like,
She does. But
You'll grow into it. You will. When you're my age, oh, you'll really be bringing
I
it.
also can take things really seriously.
And you know what? And there is a time to be serious too, but there's also that time to just kind of let loose a little bit and have a little bit of fun. Because again, I feel like when you're in that lighthearted space, I feel like you really are more effective and you can bring your A game to any situation.
Yeah.
Just my perspective. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about success and then also failure, because I think all of us are afraid to talk about that a little bit when we're failing. And I think there's just so much power in sharing that because it's inspirational. So why don't let's start with you, Gabrielle.
On failure and success.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of failure. Like I said, my path has been like I always wanted the same thing. So I've had many opportunities to try for it and fail. And I guess because it's art, sometimes people are like, oh, you didn't fail. But I feel that I did, or I got rejected. For example, like there's this singing competition that really, it really bumped up my career. It happened a couple years before I started singing with Joshua Redman and then got a record deal. And it was, really helpful in my career. It gave me a lot of credibility in the industry. But it's a competition and it's art, and people always ask me about it because I won. But I actually had done it. I had applied many times before, and I had participated in the competition once before and lost and didn't even place. And kept applying, didn't even get accepted one year after I had competed and lost. Applied the next year, didn't get accepted. Applied the next year, like kind of just for fun at that point, and won. And it meant so much more to like the year that I lost meant so much more to me than the year that I won for some reason. Like I just, the effort of putting yourself out there is
It's hard.
yeah, it's required, and the failures are that's a failure in it's such an obvious failure to lose a competition, but there's so many more, in music, just meetings that don't go well, or visions that don't get executed, or times I mess up, flub something, lose an opportunity, and it's just my life is filled with it.
But let's talk a little bit about your applying even after you had failed, and that you weren't even accepted the second time right after you tried again. But you never gave up. You never said, okay, maybe this isn't for me. You just kept moving forward. And that I think is very inspirational.
Yeah, that's been I think that this industry, I think most industries, but definitely mine, is about perseverance and
Yep.
and determination. And I was definitely determined, and I'm proud of that more than I would have been proud of being a young or overnight success. You know, I'm proud that I've showed up for myself again and again, and any success that I have is built on that.
And when did you sign with Blue Note Records?
I signed with them it was announced in, 2023, right?
Okay.
Yeah. That's when I signed. It was announced in 2024.
Yeah, that was what to say.
Yeah. Announced in 2024, and I made the record 2025, and it's coming out in April.
Ooh, that part I didn't know. So Sophia, you helped her get that. Yes, you helped her secure that.
She had already signed and everything before I got on. So it was kind of just like, okay, now what? You know, with your career almost, and planning and strategizing and all that stuff. But she was already where she needed to be, so it was a good position for me to enter in for sure.
Especially,
Well, now you're coming to elevate her, correct?
Yes. Now I'm just here to help lift her up as high as I
Yes, I
can.
love that.
So
Yes. And then with the record coming out, how does that all work? I'm actually really intrigued about this.
it's an interesting process, and we're both learning. It's my first time on a label. Yeah, it's very interesting. There's a lot of, people involved, a lot of meetings about promotional strategy, promotional assets, about how it's going to be presented, like making the music, which is my main job. That's almost like the easiest or the most straightforward part.
right.
Yeah, the promotion part is, and I think it changes over time because, you've got let's look 20 years ago, there was no digital music that was available online. Everything was, you had to go and buy it at the store. Now you can have such easy access, and you can literally sell so much more in one day just with the downloads. So, I think the music has changed so significantly, and I think ever emerging. Yeah, definitely. And it's available to everyone so easily. So let's talk a little bit about balancing life, if that's even possible. Many times I'm going, oh, I'm crushing it. And then other days I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm the worst. I can't even get my clothes picked up from the cleaners or whatever. So why don't you talk a little bit about balancing? So let's start with you, if you don't mind, Gabrielle.
Well, Sophia's a lot better at balance than I am. I feel like I'm not balanced. I think like my life is really about music, and I'm always thinking about it. I'm able to unplug, but I'm sort of on or off. So I don't have like a work-life balance on a day-to-day basis or even a week-to-week basis. But they'll be like, I am able, maybe because it's always in my mind and I'm always working on it. I am able to take a vacation better than some people I know. I'm able to actually be bye for a week or two. And because it's hard for me to have that balance. So that's something that we've had to talk through when I'm actually on vacation and Sophia's trying to reach me and I'm like, I can't look at it, because I'm either on or off. So the balance has been hard for me. And I think a lot of musicians probably feel that way because it's pretty consuming, especially if you're trying to make money at it. It's very consuming.
I want to add, though, she's gotten a lot better with balancing, especially because I feel like I hold her accountable more and she doesn't want to upset me.
It's true.
Yeah. So I feel like I've seen so much progress in her and her ability to turn on. And yeah, it's all about communication. When she needs to turn off, like she communicates that to me so that, there's no miscommunication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like Sophia's more, I feel like day to day, like she'll like clock out,
Yes.
at like a normal job, like at 5 or 6. But if I'm texting her, oh, we need to talk about merch, da 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 da, at 10 p.m., she'll be like, tomorrow.
I love it.
I think respecting each other's
Different sleep schedules.
respecting each other's boundaries, and she's fine if I power out a bunch of emails at 2 a.m., which is something I'm definitely known to do because that's when I work well. She's cool with that, as long as we can also have our meeting at like
Right. A
12 the
reasonable
next
hour.
morning,
Yeah.
the next day.
Definitely.
Well, then I wonder if part of that has to do with having that forward-facing job versus, the person that's kind of behind the scenes. I think with the forward-facing, because my job's that way, I feel like you always feel like you need to be on because you need to think about, again, how am I going to promote my job and what I'm actually doing so I can get more done. So I don't know. I feel like you're always on, right?
Totally. I can't imagine that type of position where you're just going to the grocery store or living your life and you're still having to like represent your image and your city. Like that's a lot of pressure.
Buckle up, because it also is the same way when you're a musician and you have that face that people recognize. They want to talk to you because they appreciate what you bring, the value that you bring to their lives. I mean, music is so, I want to say, cathartic. I don't know. It just really is very healing in your moments of just stress and all of that. I mean, I use music just to wipe everything out when I'm under high stress. I love to I'm actually known by my kids. They crack me up. So my kids are 25 and 29, and they're like, oh, Mom, I could hear you coming down the street with your music, because I am known to really get lost in it because it really brings such pleasure to me. And that, when you think about, Gabrielle, what you do, it's so amazing because you really do bring something so beautiful to many people's lives.
Thank you. I mean,
Of course.
it is that for me as well. Before I'm a singer, I'm a appreciator of music and a student of music, listener.
And appreciator of the arts.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I need that in my life, so that's why I do it. It feels like a good use of me because I know how important and crucial it is.
And it brings yeah. See now, and there are so many people that say, "Oh, I could never do what you do." But you know what? We all have a place and a seat at the table. And as women, being able to champion each other and all of the wonderful roles that we have. I mean, I could definitely never be on a stage singing. I just have zero musical ability. Yeah, I mean, and it sounds like the most terrifying thing I've ever heard, to be honest. So thank goodness, Gabrielle, you've got the voice for it and that you actually are willing to do it. So we're going to take just a quick smart stop to talk about our sponsor and all the wonderful things they do for our show.
SmartStop knows the winning connection is when we elevate success together. SmartStop Self Storage, a California company with nearly 200 properties and over 15 million square feet of rentable storage in the US and Canada, is committed to positively impacting the communities we serve on the national and local level. By aligning our core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey with local initiatives. To learn more about our core values, our locations, and career opportunities, please visit us at smartstopselfstorage.com.
Okay, so let's get back to it, ladies. Let's talk about lessons learned and how that applies to other women and their careers. How you could maybe, share something with us that you really feel is so important. If you walked into a room with other women in it, to say, please make sure you have learned this. What would that be?
A room of women, like musicians.
No, just any woman that they have a career that they want to aspire to serve in, and then you say, well, in my life, this is actually something that I learned that they might be able to apply to their life because it's just a lesson in life, not specific to your actual job.
You're a bit more bold than me. I feel like you would have a good.
My
I play it too safe in life, and I think I would tell
That's not
people
true.
to be bold and to just believe in themselves and be slightly delusional, because that's how you get to like sign with Blue Note. You know, most of my life I feel like I followed the rules and kind of let myself down because I wasn't living to my fullest potential as like an artist, manager, all the things. So I'm very inspired by Gabby and people like her who really, and you know, who really believe in themselves and just, you know, get to where they need to be. But that's not, I guess, the answering your question. But
No, it is. And mine is,
No, it is.
It's
absolutely,
so-
absolutely.
especially if it was going to apply to all women, it's so foundational. It's so simple.
Yeah.
Of just like, you know, we carry around, and I can only really speak for myself, but I think it is universal. We carry around this like shame of, you know, oh, well, I couldn't.
Existing.
Yeah, of existing, or I couldn't do that. And I think, especially coming up in a male-dominated field, it's
Yeah.
just the most important thing in the world to just, exactly what you said, to just look, to recognize what you have and trust in it, that it's actually important, that it's needed, it has value inherently, and you deserve to be there, and it sounds basic, but it's not. If you really believe that anything is possible, yeah.
yeah.
You know, so almost every woman that I've spoken to, and this kind of goes back to this whole conversation, and that is almost every woman that I've actually spoken to has said, you know, I felt like maybe I couldn't do whatever their career is. They felt that many times they had the imposter syndrome, that maybe they were overextending themselves. So when you say that, Sophia, I think being bold is so important, because I can tell you this. When I was your age, I would have never, ever tried to do the things that I'm doing now today because I was too scared. I'm a rule follower too, by the way. And so for someone like me to put myself out, and I don't like to be the center of attention, believe it or not, it's probably the most difficult thing. So that's why I look at Gabrielle and I think, oh gosh, me on a stage with people listening to me sing, oh, that sounds like the most terrifying thing ever. But I think there's a lot of inspiration in saying be bold because of whatever reason, because you do have a seat at the table, because you can do a good job. And I tell every young person that I ever talk to, and I talk to a lot of young people, I tell them, try things that are outside of that comfort zone. When you're uncomfortable, that actually is a place where you can grow. And so, you know, I think probably, you know, Gabrielle, she always felt comfortable performing, but not everyone does. And even taking it to the next level, I bet when you hear yourself on a record and it's playing back, you're probably going, oh, wow, it's hard to believe that's me. Isn't it?
I can't even have, sometimes people put it on thinking that I'm going to like it. I can't even like have a conversation with you if my record's playing. Like, I'm like, ugh, it's pretty uncomfortable.
Well, because we're hard on ourselves. We're women. I think every woman also is just very, very tough on ourselves. We're the biggest critic in our lives. We always think someone else is criticizing us. No, it's us. And that's another thing. Yeah, I often hear that from women. So what are your thoughts about that?
Oh, I was just going to say, I think women just in general have to feel more comfortable taking up space because, you know, there's so much space to be had. And yeah, it's important to like work together too and talk to each other and like
Yes.
build community, especially in the music world. Oh my goodness. I'd see, sometimes if it wasn't for me, Gabby would be the only girl in the room, and it shouldn't always be the case. So yeah.
So I don't know if this is true, but when I think about also the entertainment world, I think about the thing that is so tough for me that I really, really feel discouraged by. And I want to bring it up to you too, because I think Mean Girls could be so damaging to us. What are your thoughts about that?
Mean Girls?
Yeah. How do they affect you?
I think that
We have different answers.
Obviously, you're not Mean Girls. That's why I bring this up. I want to know.
there is competition among women because there's not enough spots. If you're headlining a festival as a woman, there's not another female headliner. And this is a little different in pop. There's a little more women there, but
You're talking about like jazz
I'm talking about jazz
specifically.
festivals.
Right.
Yeah, there's not that many. I actually read, there's a great letter that was written by Sasha Berliner, who's a female vibraphonist. And she was really young when she wrote it. She had to have been like 21 or something. And she wrote an open letter to the jazz patriarchy. And I just am bringing it up because I realize I'm sort of paraphrasing it right now with talking about the festivals. And she was talking about the competition. I mean, it's a great letter. I'd recommend anyone read it. One of the many things she was talking about was the competition, and girls can be mean because they want to win. They want that spot. We all want that power that is overflowing in the kingdom of men, and there's plenty of seats at their table, and we don't feel like there's enough, and so instead of uplifting each other, we try to just beat each other. Especially for singers, singers can be mean. Girls can be mean. I get judged all the time. Sometimes I've been judgmental and I haven't been, I've checked myself and been like, wait, why am I being threatened instead of lifting her up? And I think it's complicated and really important to be hyper aware of our own behavior and compassionate to others when they're mean.
Gabrielle, I actually think there's so much wisdom in that answer. And that is because when you talk about checking yourself and thinking about how you're acting, that not everyone does. They kind of go, okay, I want a spot. I'm going to take it. I'm going to do whatever. But the truth is there are a lot of spots. There are a lot of...
It's like an illusion.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And that's where we limit ourselves, I think, mentally, of thinking, oh, there's only one spot, but there aren't. There are so many. And, all of it's in cycles too. I mean, I think, you're going to have times where you're going to want to focus on different things in your life. And maybe you want to only do certain smaller venues or whatever. I mean, I think it just changes a little bit where your priorities change in life as you get older, as you, if you want to start a family. I mean, all these things I think just kind of lend to having different times in your life and different seasons. So what are your thoughts about that, Sophia?
I have to agree with everything she said. I think I just want to be friends with all the girls, the mean girls, the nice girls, all of them. And I feel like, if I'm talking about a mean girl, I'm becoming mean in that way, and I think a lot of the time we are called the B word or mean when we're just trying to get the B word. I don't know if I can curse, to get where we
You could.
might and to,
Yeah.
someone gave me really good advice recently about, I was worried that how I was being perceived was like mean and aggressive, but really I was just being direct. And I think that there can be some confusion around what's mean and what's the B word. Yeah.
And especially for managers, very few female managers out there, the ones who exist and who have persevered are, wait, are we allowed to curse?
Maybe.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
so the ones who are, and there's only a few that I can think of, the ones who are, have persevered and had long careers, they're notorious bitches. Everyone refers to them that way. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh yeah, that woman, like, oh, huge bitch, like, don't mess with her. And so
I've been having to tap into that more because I'm such a people pleaser. That's why I was saying, like, I want to be friends with all the people because I have that in me. I'm a people pleaser, but in order to get places, sometimes you just have to be that bitch. So,
Well, and don't you think it's kind of interesting because a man would never be called a bitch when he's direct, but it's only women. Don't you find that interesting?
Of course.
They are bitchier a lot of the time. So
Yes.
it's very interesting.
And domineering. Yes, absolutely. So let's just talk about what's next because I do want to hear, you do have the record coming out. Tell us when that is. April, did you say?
April 10th is the records.
Okay.
Start, the rollout in February.
Okay.
Sophia's, well, we both are working really closely with the Blue Note team to sort of roll it out, exactly how we want. And from there, touring the record and trying to grow, trying to reach more audiences, and in many different ways through performing, but also through fashion and just different mediums and opportunities.
Yeah, I feel like we're always working on creative ideas to, help promote her and help keep the momentum going outside of the music even, But
Social media and
coming out soon too, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was wondering. So a single is going to come out. What's it called?
What?
Can we say?
Oh,
Did you say a single?
record is
Yeah.
the singles are coming. I won't say the single names yet, but they're coming out on the first one. I don't even remember. It's like early February.
I think it's
Okay.
like Valentine's.
It's right before Valentine's.
Right
Day.
before Valentine's, yeah.
So how can we find out more about that as it's happening? Is it social media or how are
Stay
you
tuned.
Yeah.
Ooh, stay tuned.
This is a tiny bit premature, but
Okay.
on social media, you can follow me at Gabtron007. But also my website, GabrielleCavassa.com. The Blue Note website, really just a quick Google search should yield any necessary results. The record will be announced in the next couple weeks.
Okay. Well, exciting. I can't wait to watch it. And you know what? Like, think about 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and how you felt, and now that this day is coming, your first record being released. How does that feel?
It's never how you think. It feels hard to believe that, when you picture yourself in the future, you picture yourself as perfect or deserving of the opportunities you want. I always thought I would have it all figured out by now, and coming to terms with, I guess, my own perfectionism and that I'm not perfect. I don't have it all figured out. We are figuring it out. And even though this is for me, a really big milestone in my career, and even, an achievement that's like a signifier of a successful career, I just allowing myself to be human in this moment and through this moment is humbling, and and beautiful.
And amazing advice, just so you know. And just for everyone that's listening to this, you know, I'm coming around the bend to 60. It doesn't change. You still feel that way. You still feel like I much of what you actually just explained is the same way that I feel. So it doesn't change. Yeah, the perfection. Yeah.
Gotta get used to it, but
It's hard. Life is hard. But you know what? When you see other successful people and you think, I'm the only one that's feeling this. No, we all feel it. So I just want to definitely encourage you. But what you just shared was so beautiful and inspiring. And did you have any final words, either of you?
do you?
I don't know. Do you?
I guess I want to say thank you for having the platform,
Oh, yeah.
because when you look at successful people, like you just said, you think that they do have it all figured out. So it's nice to just to just have a platform to talk about success, but also about
Our fears. I mean, really, it is. It's our fears.
it's
Really analyze what we're doing in this type of way. So it's nice to reflect and answer these questions and really, dissect how we got here and who we are and all that. So it's been great. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate the way the two of you fit together. It's really amazing. I mean, you have such energy together. I really appreciate that. So thank you so much for joining us today here on SheEO Lead-In. And I wish the best for you. And I'm going to be watching the two of you to see what you do in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe there'll be a New York Times write-up one
Maybe
day.
so.
Ooh.
We didn't even talk about it, and I know we're closing up, but Sophia's expanding and taking on more clients, so that's also
Oh,
See, she didn't jump in.
SheEOLead-In.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
awesome.
So it's
Yeah.
not just
Well-
me out here.
Yeah.
This will be exciting to see what that ends up being.
Yeah.
Men, women, or both?
So just women right now, but I also kind of advertise my art direction. So I still do album covers and branding for all genders people. But yeah, I'm kind of focusing on managing women because I feel like they could use another woman to help bring them up to their fullest potential.
Agreed. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was so nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
The incredible curated SheEO conversation you just enjoyed was brought to you by SmartStop, a leader in self-storage real estate and a company that upholds its core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey. To learn more about SmartStop, please visit smartstopselfstorage.com.
Cloudcast Media.